I want to talk about nut biters. Now, what is a nut biter? Well, I'll give you an example. If you go squirrel hunting, once in a while you'll find a squirrel, male squirrel with no nuts. You go, why doesn't he have nuts? Because the father squirrel goes into the nest and bites off all the other nuts off the male squirrel so that he still is the alpha male in the area. There might be other squirrels. And it's true with a lot of things. And I'll give you an example. In a boxing situation, let's say I was a contender. I was in the top 20 contender, heavyweight champion of the world, and I had a gym. I never wanted to teach anybody more than I knew. I wanted to keep them below me. I wanted to keep them below me so I can be the king daddy rabbit in the gym. I was the guy that was the king there. Not you, not him. And the world is filled with people like that. I got to tell you, my father was a nut biter. And what do I mean by that? My mother told me my father was very jealous of me. Why would he be jealous? Because I had it. I could tell you stories when I was in first grade. My parents took me to Florida, and they took me to the beach. And I grew up in Queens, and we'd go to Rockaway, and there wasn't a shell anywhere. All there was beer bottles and beer tabs and food all over the beach. We didn't have seashells. And I saw these seashells, and my mom said, "What are you excited about?" I said, "Oh, I could sell these at school." So every boy has a little shoebox or a cigar box. And I filled them up with seashells and went back to Queens, New York City. Actually, I was living at the Bronx at the time. So I'm also a product of the Bronx and the Queens, and I could tell you stories about that. They were not very friendly areas. But so my mom would walk me to school every day and pick me up. So she's going, "Where am I? School's out. Where's Eddie?" Now I'm the kind of kid that could burn down the Statue of Liberty, have gasoline and matches in my pocket, and go, "Mommy, I don't know what you're talking about." I mean, I was a handful. I deserved 80% of the beatings I got. 20% I didn't, but 80% I did. So she sees me, and I smuggled my seashells out and a towel, and I had them laying out. And I had like 10 of these, and they were a nickel, but I only had 2 of these, and they were a dime. She says, "Well, how do you have them priced?" I said, "I'm making believe that the one I have 2 of for 10 cents, that's all I have left." But the truth is, I had more of the 10-cent one than the nickel ones. Now, you can't teach that. You can, maybe if you go to Harvard Business School, but a kid in first grade, it just was logical to me. My father was a very hardworking man, wanted to be a businessman, but he was not successful. He just didn't have it. He didn't think like that. And the more successful I got, the more he despised me, until when I became a multimillionaire, he wouldn't even talk to me anymore. Because he didn't want me to be better than him. And the world is filled with people that don't want you better than them. And I call them nut biters. And for instance, I've been in and out of martial arts for 50 years. And I like teaching my secrets to the students. Why? So the students can beat me and make me better. But if I don't teach the student what they're doing wrong, then they'll always be right here, and I'll always be here, and I'll be the king daddy rabbit of the dojo, and I could beat anybody. But what does it get me? And that's real important as a boss, I have to teach my salesmen everything I know. And if you work for someone, they should teach you everything they know. If they don't do that, if you have a sales manager that's not teaching you as much about product knowledge or the tricks of the trade, he's a nut biter, and you got to get out of there because he'll hold you down. So beware of nut biters.